Yes, yes. No, I'll record. I'll record. Okay. So last class, what we understood? So we understood classes and objects. Okay. So how to define a classes and how to define a data. Okay. And how to define a functions inside that particular classes. And most importantly, the constructors. So it is basically when you run your classes. So constructor function will run, okay, at that moment itself. Then how to define that particular constructor? So that is what we understood. Basically, it starts with the init keyword. So that is what we understood. So how to create an object? Okay. So how to initialize the object data and all how to call the functions using a object. Those things we learned yesterday, but in future we'll be writing a lot of classes. Okay, so that's why I'm not taking up some more examples. So in case if anybody required some examples, okay, so I will take up. So no, we'll study that particular classes and objects in deeper. Okay, in coming classes, we'll be using classes and objects for everything. Okay, so in that sense, so we'll be learning. But today, so we'll take up a topic called file handling. Okay, so if you remember the first class, so I given some computer technologies. In that, first one was the programming language, and second one was a database. Okay, or a data. Okay, so now uh, after writing a program, you have to connect to data. That is most important thing. So you have to connect your program to a data. So your data can be anything. It can be audio, it can be video, it can be simple text file, it can be spreadsheet, or it can be some some other data from the network. So it can be any kind of data. Okay, the data may be present in some databases, maybe in your intranet or from internet or from cloud. So data may come from anywhere. So data may be of any type. Okay, so that is what we have to understand. So your program has to connect to that particular data. Okay, so we should not write a program which just takes data from the temporary memory and uses and processes and gives a result in the temporary memory. That is not a correct architecture. Instead, what we have to do, we have to we have to save this particular data. Okay, so persistence of this particular data is important. So now we should not take some, and also it is not best practice to embed data inside a program. So that you have to remember. So when you write a program, so we should not, keep our data inside a program itself. Okay, that kind of hard coding is not a best practice, and in fact nobody will do. So always the data and program will be separate. So always they'll try to take data from the persistent memory or from some other memory, and they will process and they will come to some decisions using that particular program. So that is what normally done everywhere. So that is what we have to understand. So always whatever program you write, you have to keep your data separate. So that means once after terminating your program, so your work, so should be saved somewhere. Okay, should be saved somewhere. So if you want to achieve that particular thing, then you have to go for some permanent storage of data. Okay, and also your program should take data from that particular permanent memory, and also it has to return data back to that particular memory. So that is how we have to see. So what kind of data you can connect? So database, I already told. Your program can connect to anything. So it can connect to something like databases. Okay, so some kind of relational databases, or it can connect to some NoSQL databases, or it can connect to some simple file, okay, text file, okay, a spreadsheet. This kind of data it can connect, but you can classify data into two types actually. So one is basically data stored in database, and also one more thing is the data stored in the file system. So these are two different ways. Say for example, when you open your you know file system, or a file manager, okay, so you'll see some folders. Inside that some files will be there. So that is how you store data. So that is basically the files what you kept inside a memory storage. The other way is basically creating some database, and storing data inside a database. Okay, so that is also one way. Two ways are there. One is storing data in file system, and also keeping data in the database system. So both the things we will be learning in this particular course. So storing data in database, and also storing data in file system. But normally everywhere the people will store data in database because of some inherent advantages, and security perspective. They will store their data inside the databases. So if the data is kind of if the data size is more, okay, or it is not suitable to store in databases, then they'll go for something called file storage. Okay, so that is what everybody does. So now we have to think. Now in this particular session, what we'll do, so how to access files, okay, from your file system to your Python program. So we will take up a simple program, some text file. How to take a text file from the stored memory, and use that particular program, and how to write some content to that particular text file. So that is the first thing what we'll do. And what are the things you have to learn in file handling. We have to understand Excel import and export is very important. Okay, and say some kind of binary file import and export we have to learn. So these are all very important thing in Python. So today we will we'll take up one example where we will take some text file, and we'll read and write that particular text file. So that is what we do. Okay, so any clarification, okay, any clarification if you required, I'll answer. With respect to data, with respect to file handling or database, you can ask any question. Okay, fine. So if you don't have a question, then I'll start. So I'm starting Jupyter Lab. So my objective is to take a data from text file, and write some data to text file. Very simple. Okay, but as I already said, so somehow how we have to see for electrical application. So that is what we understand now. So for electrical, say for example, I'm taking one simple example here. Okay, so that program is basically electrical application. So that electrical application is basically balanced and unbalanced system. Okay, so let me uh, ask you only, uh, Priyanshu, can you come online?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great. Priyanshu, could you please tell me what is balanced electrical system and unbalanced electrical system?
Sir, I think balance is the one which has same impedances like connected in star or delta.
Yes, 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 correct. Okay, so very good point. So impedances are same in all the phases. Any other person can tell what is the condition for the balance system? So when you can call a system is balanced? Anujit, can you come online? Anujit? Okay, so Anujit is not answering. Amruta, can you come online? Could you please tell me what is the condition for? Yeah, could you please tell me the condition for balanced and unbalanced electrical system? He already answered.
Sir,
What is balanced electrical system? Okay. Okay, fine. You can mute yourself. Okay. Try to set up your audio. You see, balanced and unbalanced system. Okay, so if the voltage and current waveforms, okay, so if the magnitude is same in all phases, and if the phase difference is 120-degree, okay, then you can call, and also phase sequence should be same. If these conditions satisfies, then that particular electrical network will be called as balanced system. Okay, the condition is what? The current and voltage magnitude value should be same, and phase difference should be 120-degree between each phase, and the phase sequence should be same. So one example I'll just show you. So even in Google you can find balanced electrical, okay, network, okay, phasor diagram. So I just type this particular thing. So this is how you can visualize. Okay. So hope you can see now some pictures here. Okay. Somebody Varshita Yagnam. Varshita, have you muted your microphone?
sir, I will inform her, sir.
Yeah. So hope you're seeing the phasor diagrams. Okay, from this phasor diagram, what you can understand, if the waveform, okay, so if waveform is 120-degree, the waveforms RYB phases, if they are having 120-degree phase shift and magnitude is same, then you can call that as balance system. Okay, so now how I have to use this in my application, how I'll use. Okay, so basically when you take some energy meters, okay, so it is always connected to some communications like RS 485, okay, that kind of communication they'll use. Okay, so communication modules can be connected. So that communication module, Varshita Yagnam. Varshita Yagnam. Okay, kindly mute your microphone. Okay, focus on the class, what we are trying to do. So in today's example, what we are doing, so we will be checking electrical system is balanced or unbalanced. Okay, so that is the task what we are taking up. And how we have to check what information we are getting. We are getting the magnitude and the phase value from the meter. Okay, from the meter. So always that meter gives the data in term, in binary format or text format. So if that text format is coming to me, then how I have to check whether that system is balanced or not. Say for example, I'll just show you one file. Say this one. Can you see here? So this is one sample file what I'm considering. So I'm three phase values of voltage and their corresponding angle and three current values, okay, and also the angles, three angles. So this is what I considered. So now in this particular case, now assume that this is the data what you are receiving from the meter, okay, in text format. So then what you have to do, you have to take the second line. Okay, that is actually your data, but you can see here the first line is basically the description of that particular comma separated values. So I have to say, extract this second line from this particular text file, and I have to, uh, parse each and every variable. Okay, then what I have to do, I just have to check whether all the voltages are same. Then the phase sequence or the phase value should be 0, 120 degree and 240 degree. That should be there. And also next current values are there, current magnitude values. That also should be same. And also the phase sequence of the current also should be same. So because current sensor, voltage sensor, from the meter, it will read this kind of values. So this is transferred as a text file to your system. Okay, so then our objective is to find out whether the system is balanced or not. Okay, so and also normally what programmers must do, they have to generate a report. Okay, they have to generate a report. Now the thing is, after taking this one, I will do some process. Okay, I will check whether the system is balanced or not. Then I may have to generate some report. Okay, different phase values are this, something like that. Then how to do that particular thing? That is what. So generating a report means writing some things in a text file. Okay, so here you can visualize the file handling now using Python. So what is that? So I will take this particular text data, okay, and I will analyze using Python program, and then I will write the some content in other file. That one I am calling as a the sorry, there was a break. You understood? Anybody required any clarification? I will just demonstrate. Anybody required any clarification? Okay, fine. I'll move. Now, the program, again, you have to select, the notebook. Okay, you should start writing your program. So, basically to take the content of this particular file. Okay, so now you have to use something like this. Okay, so file is basically the object. So you have one command to open a file. Okay, open a file. So that particular command or a function will take a file name you have to give as a parameter. So input file dot txt is basically the file name. So, and also you have to provide the mode. So whether you are reading, whether you are writing that particular file, all those things you have to give. So when you specify R, then it is read only. So if you specify W, then write only. So now we are reading that particular input file. Okay, so you can give like this. So now what happens when you run this particular command? Okay, so the file object will be created. file object will be created, and it always points to that particular file. Now the thing is, file is opened. Okay, file is opened. That is how you have to imagine. Okay, so it is pointing to that particular file. Now, if you want to read the content of that particular file, then what you have to use? So you have to use a command, a command called read, f.read. Now I am just running this particular program. You can see. Can you see here? So this particular program is reading and displaying the content. So even you can use a print statement to display the content of that particular file. Now you can see as it is. So whatever it is, there in that particular file, it is displaying that particular content. Now you see, you don't want first line, you want only the second line. So if you want only the second line, so there is one command called read line. So read line reads that particular text file in line wise. Okay, so here this particular command reads 2 lines. Okay, so when you run this particular command, so you see the first line in default it is giving. Now what you can do, you can specify which line you want. So this particular statement tells that read lines. Okay, read lines is the command. Then 0 means first line, 1 means second line. Okay, so now using this particular statement, so I think we achieved one part. What is that part? So we have taken the second line from that particular text file. So that text file is coming from the meter, which is present in my folder. I'm taking that file and I'm taking the second line in my file. Now, after taking this particular second line, you have to, you see, this will be like a string. Okay, a string. You need to convert this string to the array or list. You need to convert this to array or list. Now, to convert array or list, you have to use a command called split. Okay, so I'll just take that one. Okay. So you have to use a command called split by comma. Okay. So when you execute this particular code, can you see here what happened? So earlier it was a string with separated by comma. Now again you got a string list. So you need to convert this string list to float list. Okay. So to achieve that particular things, we have to use something called map command. Map to what? We have to map to float. This entire list we need to map to float. So whatever output we got, that entire thing we need to convert to float. So that is why we use map. Okay. Just one more. Okay. So the object is created. You just convert that object to list. Okay, I just converted. Now can you see here? Previously it is the array of the strings. Now it is array of the float values. I converted all those things to float. Now what you can do, say for example, you can assign this entire thing, this list to one variable. Okay, say I am calling this as my some simple variable like r. Okay, I just define that as r. So r basically holds this particular list. So now what I did, I had taken the second line in that particular text file and I converted that text file into float array. Very simple. Now what I can do, I can point to any value. Okay, I can point to any value. You see, I can point to any value. When I run this particular command, you can see here, I can extract any value from that particular array. Individually, I can see. See, what is my objective? My objective is to find out whether R of 0 is equal to R of 1. That should be equal to R of 2. So, say for example, this is basically comparing the magnitude values of all voltages. If you see the R, the list in that particular file, the first three values are basically the phase values. So phase values. So all those phase values should be same. When you run this particular thing, now you can see here, it is giving the binary output, okay, logical output, that is false, because you can see the magnitude values are 231, 230, 230. So one value is not sorry, there was some break. I don't know. Suddenly, a system got restarted. So anyway, am I audible? Could you please respond?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you. So I'll just start my Jupyter. This, please set up your machine. That environment setup. You just make it, because the assessment will start. Almost we are done with unit one. So just prepare yourself. So because lot of quizzes, assignments, everything will come for this particular unit. So everything is graded one. So just make sure you have the proper setup in your machine. Somehow it is there. Okay. So this is what I will take another 3-4 minutes. Okay. So just see here, now the thing is we got some output now, so we can check whether the system is balanced or not. All those things we can check. So this is what I was explaining. So this particular statement will tell you whether the system is balanced or not. Now, similarly, what you can do, you can change values. So I just changed that 231 to 230. Again, I came back to my program. I am running. Now you can see it is telling magnitudes are same. Now, what is the condition? I'll just take the program from what I written yesterday. Now you can see this is the condition. So this is the condition. So this is the condition for a system to be balanced. You can see here. So voltages, magnitude should be same. Okay. And you can see here, the angles will be given in 0, 120 and 240. When you subtract 120 and 240, it will come as 0. Then all those values should be same. Okay. That means phase difference is 120 degree. Then current value magnitude should be same. Then angle of that particular current also should be same. So if all these conditions satisfies, you can say the status is balanced. Otherwise, you can say status is unbalanced. Okay. So now this is the conclusion what you can make. Now here in file handling, what you have to understand, you already opened your text file. You can use this particular command. So that file object dot close. So this particular statement will close that particular file. So whatever content it will take and it will close. So that files can be utilized by any other program. So that is what it does. Now when I run this particular program, you can see status value changed. But I have not printed that one. So you can print that particular status. So I have taken the current values and voltage values from the text file. I just checked whether that values is balanced or unbalanced. So that I return. Now the second step what I'll do, I will write this particular status into a different file. Okay, I'll write the content to the different file. To write the content, the status to different file. So again, you have to, open that particular file. Okay. So I'm just calling that as output file. Okay. I'm calling that as an output file. And here, the mode should be write mode. Okay. The mode should be write mode. W plus means read and write both. Okay. So write mode. Now you see, to write anything on the file what you have opened, you have to use a command called write. So when you use this particular write, you can write any content to that particular file. Now you see here status. Okay, status is a variable which you are trying to write in that particular file. Now you see, this is the command what you have to use to write anything in the text file. So open the file, okay, create that particular file object, use file object, call a write function to this write function will write some content in that particular file, then close it. Then that status will appear in that particular file. Let us see, when I run this particular file, okay, then that operation is performed. When you open that output file, can you see here? This is actually the physical file present in the file system. Inside that particular system, balanced is written. Similarly, when you change the input data, say 235, I change that to 235. Again, I am coming back to my program I am running. So now the system is unbalanced. If I check my file, output file, okay, it is unbalanced. Now you can see it is taking from the permanent memory, and it is storing data back to permanent memory. Now see, this is just printing unbalanced. I told you, normally using programs, you have to generate a proper report. Okay, so formatted report you have to generate. So that is what normally all the people does. So see, simply writing status will not work. So you may have to write, something like electrical network. Okay, is okay is then you have some string. So when I run this particular program, you can check your output file. So when you open your output file, you can see here, so the electrical network is unbalanced. So this kind of output it is coming in a text file. So other things also you can do. I'll just copy paste here for your understanding. You can you can print all voltages. Okay, so you can print all voltages and current values, everything in that particular text file. Okay, instead of writing only one, you can write so many other things. Now you can see here, I'm printing voltage values. So I'm printing voltage values. I'm just mentioning the status of the system. Okay, so now you see here, when I write all this content to that particular file, let me show you how it looks like. Okay. We have to, uh, encoding, because I just want to print some special character in a text file. So I just have to use this UTF-8 characters text encoding format. When I run this one, now let me see. I don't want this also. Now nothing. You should not print anything on the console. Go and speak there. Speak. Speak. Okay. Now, can you see this particular program? You should not print anything on the, console. Everything should read and write in a file. Okay. So that is the best practice. Now, when I see the output file, can you see here the phase voltages are okay. Now you see only 235 is printing. There is some bug. Why is that bug? So okay, you're not change that particular index. Okay, so now I just modify that one and I just want to see my output file. Now you can see here the phase voltages are coming and it is telling system is unbalanced. So you may have to print the current values also. So in that particular case, what you have to do, you just have to copy this, copy paste this entire thing. So phase currents, okay, or something, you can give some formatted output, and then it is 6, 7, 8 index, and that phase values are okay 9, 10, 11. Okay, so now you can see here when I run this particular program. So this is how it looks like. So it will print the voltage parameter, current parameter, and also it is printing some decision. That is what you have to observe. So in this way, you can work on the files. Okay. So in today's session, what we learned how to read content from the text file, and how to parse the content from that particular text file. Okay, and also how to write content to another text file. Okay, so and how to uh, uh, write some formatted content to that particular text file also we have seen. Okay, so this is very simple program what you can think on, file read write operation. You see, lot of things we are doing, okay, in this particular example, but entire thing is very simple. The program is very simple, but when you see the objective is basically very good objective. That means you are checking the electrical network is balanced or unbalanced. That objective you are doing using this particular file handling. Okay, so any clarification required from the crowd? I you can put in chat box, or you can ask. You can unmute yourself and you can ask question. Any clarification or any questions? Any mistake in the program what we have done? Yeah, fine. Okay, so that's it. I'll upload this particular file in GitHub. Okay, so you can uh, you can leave this meeting and you can attend next meeting. So you just go through the file handling in the internet. Okay, if you have any clarification, stay back. Otherwise, you can leave.